Texas Rangers as a Minnesota Twin, hoping for better results as he hopes to lead the Twins to a win tonight against the Texas Rangers.
You by Menards. Save big money at Menards. By your local Northland Ford dealers. Visit your local Northland Ford dealer or visit northlandford.com and drive one. And by Home Furniture. There's no place like home. Tonight, the Twins hope to win the series by winning Game 2. Carl Pavano will make his third start of the year against the Rangers, once as an Indian, once as a Twin. Neither one turned out very well for Pavano as he picked up a loss in the start he made against the Rangers as a Cleveland Indian. A no decision in an ineffective start against the Rangers down in Arlington about a week and a half ago. And earlier, Bert Blyleven caught up with him and talked about how he might change his approach this time around.
You know, obviously I got to be a little more aggressive. My last two starts against them, it was just, certain pitches. The first one didn't go very far. I won an inning. But my last start was execution. That one inning that I gave up the 4 spot, there's a couple pitches if I would like to have changed. I think it would have changed the outcome of that inning, which would have allowed me to, stay in the game a little longer. But it didn't work out that way. We ended up winning the game, which was good. But obviously I'd like to be out there a lot longer.
Tigers have just lost. The door's open for the Twins to pick up a win over the Rangers in a game on the Tigers.
pad record setters. There goes another one. Game winners. There's your walk-off winner.
Nice going, Delvin Young.
And nail biters. Got him looking. In the end, the Twins have been victorious, tightening the gap in the Central race. Tonight, they look to keep it rolling. Twins Rangers starts now. And the Twins wearing their Saturday night specials here in honor of the 1982 team that broke into the Metrodome here. And Ron Gardenhire, knowing now that the Tigers have lost, the Twins, his team, have won 8 of 10. And a chance for the Twins to get to within 3.5 games of first place. And speaking of 1982, one of the regulars on the 1982 ball club, the current manager of the Texas Rangers and a good baseball man, Ron Washington.
Yeah, Ron Washington, an outstanding utility type player, played for the Twins for 6 seasons, 1981 to 1986, and after a short hop, Rich Delmacy.
And Ron Washington's Rangers hoping that they can enter the playoff field through one door or the other, either as a division champion or as the wild card winner. Here's Ron Washington's Menard's batting order for Game 2. Julio Bourbon in the leadoff spot as a designated hitter. Then Michael Young, Josh Hamilton. Great month of August. Then Marlon Byrd, Ian Kinsler, David Murphy, Ivan Rodriguez, Chris Davis, and Omar Vizquel.
And on the mound for the Twins, it'll be Carl Pavano, making his 26th start of the year, his 5th in a Twins uniform. Looking for win number 12 on the year. His 3rd start against the Rangers. And the first 2 didn't go the way that he liked. But one thing he's been able to do in 3 of the 4 starts, he's been able to pitch 7 innings. And he wants to do exactly what Brian Dunsing did last night. Great outing by Brian Dunsing. Career high 8 strikeouts. And he did a great job of working both sides of the plate. And that's what Pavano will try to do.
Northland Ford defense for the Twins. Denard Span in left, Carlos Gomez in center, Michael Kadire in right, Harris, Cabrera, Casilla, Morneau, and Mauer surrounding Pavano. Casilla has been an offensive force for the Twins, but some spectacular defense over the last 2-3 weeks. He was very likely out of the picture when it comes to 2010 at second base for the Twins, but he's re-entered the picture because even though the first 4 months haven't gone his way, he's come back and really given the Twins a big lift on both ends of the field.
Well, Pavano, he's a strike thrower. He's averaged only 2 walks per 9 innings, and he'll average about 6 strikeouts, but he makes the opponent put the ball in play. 150 2/3 innings between the Twins and the Indians with 105 strikeouts. He's allowed 21 home runs, 14 to right-handed hitters. And right-handers hitting .314, left-handers hitting .273, .293 overall.
And he had a tough time in Arlington keeping this guy off the bases. Julio Bourbon faced Pavano 3 times, reached all 3 times, 2 singles and a walk, stole bases, and generally was a real pain in the backside to the Twins that night.
Well, to help beat the Rangers, you got to keep these speedsters off the bases. They are 3rd in the American League in stolen bases, and you see where the infield's playing right there, the possible bunt. Take the bunt away from this quick left-handed hitter.
Strike 2.
Well, you'll hear some voices behind the plate here tonight. Jim Joyce, the home plate umpire, he likes to yell out that strike. There are the umpires.
2 strikes to Julio Bourbon. And now 1-2. When the Rangers beat Pavano, he was only out there for 4 innings, and the Rangers stole 5 bases. Bourbon got a couple of them, and Pavano strikes out Bourbon to start tonight's game.
Oh, it looks like a good breaking ball, inner half of the plate, and Bourbon a little out front, and Pavano gets the strikeout. Take a look at the pitch right here. Good slider. That might have been the split finger, too. It's hard to tell sometimes between that splitter and that slider.
So 1 down, and here's Michael Young. And he, like Josh Hamilton, hitting the ball very well in the second half. He was the American League Player of the Week last week. Pavano starts him with a strike.
Young currently on a 15-game hitting streak where he's hitting .379. Sixth in the American League with that .327 batting average.
Just off the plate, 1-1. White Sox were embarrassed by the Yankees this afternoon, 10-0. Tampa Bay's just beaten Detroit 3-1. So the team immediately behind the Twins and immediately in front of them have lost today. Lifted foul and out of play, 1-2. One and two to Michael Young. And now 2-2. Rangers are essentially the same distance out of first place as the Twins are. They're 5 behind the Angels. The Twins are 4.5 coming into play today behind the Tigers. That's been trimmed already a half game. High hopper over the mound, and that'll skip into center field. Young with a 1-out single. It was a 10-0 final. A short start for Jose Contreras for the White Sox against the Yankees. Nick Swisher with a base hit to left, scoring 2 more, but by then the Yankees had already pretty much gotten a pretty firm grip on that game. In the 8th inning, Curtis Granderson with a runner aboard sent one to the wall. Gabe Gross with a nice catch out there. David Price pitched 7 1/2 very good innings. And the Tigers lost at home, which is something that doesn't happen very often. Runner at first, 1 out, and here's Josh Hamilton. And Pavano misses, ball 1. White Sox now 2 games below the 500 mark. The Twins hope to get above the 500 mark for good tonight. Hamilton with a drive to the gap in right center field. Young round second. Gomez falls down on the warning track, and it'll be an RBI double for Josh Hamilton. A low rocket that skipped past Cabrera and ran all the way to the alley in left center field.
Yeah, on this turf, you hit a ball like that, especially as hard as Hamilton did. It was Denard, Span, and Gomez going after it. You can see where that pitch was. Not a bad pitch. But Span lets the ball hit the wall, and Gomez slipping and then getting the ball back in. But Hamilton with a double, his 16th of the year, and now has 45 RBIs.
Marlon Byrd, one of several Texas hitters with great career numbers against Pavano, and he stands in here with Hamilton at second and 1 out. Nubbed off the end of the bat. Hamilton will gain third base, and Casilla throws Byrd out, 2 away.
Yeah, Bird's missed the last 3 or 4 ball games because of some kidney stone problems. But when you're having success against a pitcher like Pavano, I'm sure those kidney stones disappear just like that.
Yes, he had them pulverized the other day, which sounds painful, but apparently isn't as painful as the kidney stones themselves. Here's Kinsler. And he's had pretty good success against Pavano, 3 for 4 with a couple of home runs. Just underway here, and the Rangers have the first run of the ball game.
Well, Kinsler, a guy that likes to stand right on top of home plate and almost challenge you to go inside.
Fastball just off the plate, ball 1.
See where he stands in that batter's box. Puts a lot of weight on that back foot.
And that hits the corner, 1-1.
When you face a hitter like Kinsler that stands right on top of the plate, he's telling me 2 things, and I have to find out as a pitcher. Is he daring me to come hard in, or is he having trouble maybe reaching that pitch outer half of the plate? Now we're sitting inside, and the ball too much over the plate right there.
And Kinsler drives in the second run of the inning.
You have to get that ball inside when the catcher like Mauer sits inside. If you miss, you miss inside. And these are the problems that Pavano had in his last start against the Rangers. The execution, that's the word he used. The execution right here. You see where Mauer's setting up, and you see where that ball ends up. And Kinsler taking it right back up the middle for the RBI, his 74th of the year.
And now David Murphy. Pavano needs to keep an eye on Kinsler because, as we said, the Rangers ran wild. Rare is the time when a Twins pitcher will give up 5 stolen bases. And the Rangers stole 5 on Pavano in just 4 innings.
Well, Pavano, a big man, about 6'4", about 230, 6'5", 240 actually is what the media guide says. Takes him a little while to get going. He doesn't really utilize that slide step as quick as he should.
In all, as a Twin, teams have stolen 6 times in 6 tries against Pavano. One strike to Murphy. Kinsler with a false start and a pop foul back into the seats. Murphy thought he had tied the game last night against Joe Nathan in the 9th. Everybody in the Texas dugout thought he had. I think you and I thought he had tied the game. A drive off the wall in right field. You can still see the dent just below the foul screen down the right field line. You can see on the season teams have had great success in running against Carl Pavano. Kinsler 26 swipes and 28 tries. And there he goes. And the pitch chopped foul. Rangers have 190 home runs, and that wouldn't surprise anybody. That they have 120 stolen bases probably would surprise a lot of people.
Yeah, they have some guys that can run the bases.
19th pitch of the inning for Carl Pavano. Kinsler stays put. Mauer came out for a pitch out, and the ball almost was over the outside corner.
You have to get that ball into that right-handed hitter's batter's box, and right there, Joe Mauer luckily able to reach out and get that ball.
That was right over the heart of the plate. 1-2. Kinsler goes, and the pitch flipped foul again. In his last start, Pavano pitched much better. It was against the Royals, and at one point in the middle of his outing, he retired 10 men in a row. Kinsler alternately taking off and staying put throughout this at bat. He goes again. The pitch is outside. Mauer's throw there, but not in time.
Well, again, that high leg of Pavano. You have a great arm behind the plate in Joe Mauer, but when that runner is able to get about 2/3 of the way down towards second base before Joe Mauer can even receive the ball, it's tough to throw anybody out. So Kinsler, a stolen base. He gets into scoring position with 2 outs. His 27th stolen base of the year.
2-2 now to Murphy. Protected the plate nicely. Kept the at-bat alive. As it is, Murphy's still stuck on 12 home runs. Nathan ended up getting the save last night. And as we said, the Twins have now won 8 of 10. Another 2-2 and a swing and a miss. Pavano gives up 3 hits and a couple of runs in the first. trying to come from behind after a 2-0 first inning lead for the Texas Rangers. The Menards batting order for the Twins: Denard Span, followed by Orlando Cabrera, Joe Mauer, Justin Morneau, Jason Kubel. Michael Kadyr's got good numbers against the Texas starter: Brendan Harris, Carlos Gomez, and Alexi Casillas.
And that Texas starter being Scott Feldman, a right-handed pitcher looking for win number 14 on the year. He has been a great surprise, and I think one main reason that the pitching staff is 4th in the American League in pitching. He's been very consistent, and especially on the road. He's 9-1 in 11 road starts with a 2.97 ERA. Feldman, good sinker, hard slider.
And Denard Span will try to get a comeback started here in the bottom of the first. And just off the plate, ball 1. Span with the batting average undergoing a steady climb. There's a strike, 1-1. Yeah, Jim Joyce sounds like somebody calling hogs on the farm, doesn't it?
Yep.
1-1 to the Twins leadoff hitter. Now inside, 2-1.
Well, both these starters at 6'5" here tonight. Feldman, his 5th season with the Rangers, he started last year. He's made 25 starts for the Rangers, but this year's been a different story. 6-8 last year with an ERA at 5.29 in 25 starts, 28 ball games, and he's really turned it around.
3-1 to the leadoff man. Span in a pretty select company among leadoff hitters. You've got Ichiro at 359, Derek Jeter having one of his best years as a Yankee, and Denard Span 3rd among leadoff hitters in batting average. Chopper, right side, sideways hop, and Span is out by a step. Weird hop for Davis to play, but he played it. One away. Northland Fort defense for the Rangers. They've turned a lot of double plays in the infield. In the outfield, it's Murphy, Bird, and Hamilton. Vizquel, a perennial Gold Glove winner in his prime. Young's won a Gold Glove. And Rodriguez behind the plates won a little hardware there, too. 1 down, and Orlando Cabrera. See the outfield shading Cabrera to hit the ball the other way. Cabrera, Gold Glove winner in his prime. Came to the Twins, said he wanted to play every day, and except for one game, he's done just that.
Doesn't miss many games. He has stayed pretty healthy throughout his career.
Now Feldman falls behind Cabrera. Called strike.
Feldman, the guy that started in the bullpen with the Rangers, didn't make his first start until the end of April. And he was a good start, so he's been in the rotation ever since. Making his 24th start here tonight, his 27th appearance.
That's a 3-ball count to the second hitter. Remember, Cabrera came to the Twins with a long hitting streak. So Feldman's run the count full to the first 2 batters. Slap foul. Feldman, as we saw in Arlington a week and a half ago, likes to work quickly. Got the little hesitation though in the middle of his delivery that you picked up.
Yeah, again at 6'5", does a good job of staying on top of that baseball. Tries to create that downward plane toward home plate.
And Cabrera will trot to first with a 1-out walk.
Well, Feldman, that's his 47th walk in 44 2/3 innings. He does have 86 strikeouts. And opponents. opponents hitting .250 off of him. Right-handers hitting .274. left-handers 230. He's given up 11 home runs to left-handed hitters. And one of those home runs coming off the bat of Joe Mauer.
One Joe Creedy on the disabled list. Mauer is not. He started the year on the disabled list, and he starts tonight with a 13-point lead over Ichiro in the batting race. Strike on the inside corner. Cameras are out every time Joe comes to the plate. And a double play grounder to Vizquel. Barehanded by Kinsler. And he makes the play, so Mauer wraps into a double play, and Feldman faces just 3 men in the inning.
Consistently is here, a little bigger slider that I'll throw to a righty, and then I hold my changeup like this. It's, it has the action of a split finger, but it's not. It doesn't put the pressure on your elbow as a split finger because these fingers are to the side of it, as opposed to being here and using a lot of that leverage through your elbow.
And very unusual. It's almost like Jim Hughes' cork ball that he used to throw many years ago for the Twins, Bluegill Hughes.
Right.
Mostly split fingers. You think of Jack Morris, where they really split those fingers apart into a ball, but he kind of brings that ring finger and his pinky finger up a little bit for that splitter.
Well, what's the difference between what he was showing there as his off-speed pitch and a palm ball?
Well, it's almost like palm ball, fork ball,
right.
Same thing. All he does is just kind of open up those two fingers to create a little more, so you can't throw the ball as hard. So it just sits back on your palm a little bit.
Arm speed is the same, it just comes out slower.
Right.
Here's Ivan Rodriguez starting the second.
And that's the key right there. You can see him set it up and then changing it in the glove for the fastball.
1-2.
One thing you don't want to do is to get to a point where you're rolling that ball for so many different ways. And right there, he's thinking one pitch, and he got it. And he goes back to that hard slider down and away.
2-2.
It's funny, when he showed me the grips, that he said, one is for a slider to left-handers inside, and then one's for the bigger breaking ball. And you see him moving the fingers again for that sweeping slider. That's the bigger slider that he wants.
Off the plate to fill the count. Bottom third of the Texas lineup. Rodriguez, Davis, and Vizquel. Swing and a miss. Just took care of him with a fastball.
A good fastball right there, and Pavano picks up strikeout number 3. And when I'm talking about the grip of the ball, a lot of times you'll have that ball in your hand like this. You don't want to start fooling around by moving a ball to find a certain grip. So, like all he does, he goes fastball here, slider, or sinker there, spreads it open. Pretty simple. Then he kind of moves it up. So not a lot of movement where you have to move the ball around. Some guys throw a curveball this way, and then they'll move it around, and he's pretty well set as far as where he puts that ball in his glove, and then let's go.
Well, we haven't had many of them. The pitchers who, in Morris, you mentioned one, Tapani, Guthrie, Juan Berenguer, who feature the split finger pitch, will start with that grip and then modify it to a fastball, because it's easier to do that than to start with a fastball and then spread your fingers and maybe tip the pitch.
Right, and you might move your glove a little bit if you don't start that way. But see, right there, he's pretty much knows what he wants to throw, and that's that little fastball, running fastball right there, trying to hit the inner half of the plate.
1-2 to Chris Davis, very strikeout prone, struck out last night looking to end the ball game. A lot of hitters would have looked at that pitch. Twins might have caught a break at the end of the game there with Nathan struggling a little bit.
That was a thank you very much little breaking ball that was probably 3 or 4 inches outside. But Nathan able to pick up the save, his 33rd of the year last night.
1-2 to Davis. And now 2-2. Rangers got 3 hits and a couple of runs in the first inning against Pavano. In his first start against Texas, it was his first start for the Cleveland Indians back on April 9th. He only lasted 1 inning and gave up 9 earned runs.
Yeah, if he ever wanted a mulligan, that was the time to get one.
Check swing dribbler to short, and Cabrera fires on the run. Davis retired 2 away. But can you imagine, given all the terrible seasons he had with the Yankees, he's trying to get a fresh start with a new team that at the time was expected to contend for postseason play. And you go out there and your first impression with your new teammates, and you give up 9 earned runs in 1 inning.
Hey, back to the drawing board. Now, he did go through 2 elbow surgeries in 2006 and 2007, had the Tommy John surgery. I mean, it's not been an easy ride for Carl Pavano, but this year, I think he's showing that he's healthy again.
Total of 150 and 2/3 innings pitched coming into play tonight. 1-1 to Omar Vizquel.
That's the most innings he's pitched since 2004, when he pitched 222 innings for the Marlins.
And Vizquel cracks one to the gap in right center. And he has 2 and wants 1 more. Falling down again on the warning track is Carlos Gomez. He fell down on the left center field gap and now in right center. It's a triple for Omar Vizquel with 2 outs in the second.
Yeah, 2-out triple right here. Vizquel, his second triple of the year, but Gomez for the second time. Don't know if he slipped on that rubberized turf out there for the warning track. We'll take a look at it right here. It's a triple the whole way. It's just what Gomez does right here as he tries to stop and then slipping. So bad traction on those shoes that he has.
Here's Bourbon, who struck out to start the ball game. A runner at third, 2 away.
The scary part of that is when you're out there like that and you slide like that, that might pull a groin muscle or something like that.
1 strike to Bourbon. And a fastball inside.
Bourbon, just 23 years old. He got called up on August 2nd, his second stint with the Rangers this year. Down in AAA, hit .307. Stole 25 bases.
And that's nubbed right back to Pavano. And he underhands it to Morton. So Pavano pitches around the 2-out triple. It's 2-0 Texas. Marty Gelder taking her hash from the batting practice guy at the State Fair.
Whoa! Get her in the lineup.
Bottom of the second inning at the Metrodome at the State Fair. We've got batting stance guy to imitate the Twins leadoff hitter in this inning, who is Justin Morneau. Let's see your Morneau.
Yeah, so eyes not completely open. Puts the bat down like this. And then just kind of like taps, then coils down, and then his mouth blows up, and he'll go and running toward first like
and
that.
And you know what we love? The home run swing with the twirl.
He doesn't do that. You know what? He doesn't do it every time. He doesn't go around.
But when you get a good
lot of times
violent
he sticks right here, and then he sticks it down, and then runs with the elbows out a little more.
Dick and Bert batting stance guy. I think he's got Justin Morneau down.
Yes, he does. Thank you very much, Marty.
And Justin's next home run will be his 30th. He takes a strike on the outside corner from Scott Feldman. Morneau, Kubel, and Kadire to face Feldman, who's been staked to an early 2-0 lead.
Yeah, that last pitch, the curveball, that's something that Feldman has added in his repertoire since he's been a starter. Along with that good sinking fastball, a slider, he's trying to mix in that slower pitch, and that's the curveball.
He got ahead of Mauer and ended up getting him fairly quickly in a double play grounder, but he fell behind Span, fell behind Cabrera, ended up walking him. And that's a called strike, 2-2. Teams that have been successful against Justin right now have pitched him effectively away. Teams that have been pitching effectively against Joe Mauer have come inside to him. 4 batters, 3-2 counts.
Haven't seen really Justin get into this streak, and usually this is a good streak when he starts hitting the ball the other way a lot. That's usually when you know that he sees the ball extremely well and then just taking the ball. He's been doing a little bit too much of that, trying to pull the ball.
1 down in the second. Feldman's gotten 4 outs from 4 batters. Ron Coomer, your thoughts on how the Twins should approach the guy who's emerged as the Texas ace?
Well, he has emerged as that, and I watched him in pregame in his warm-ups to bullpen, Dick and Bert, and to me there's a main reason why. What you talked about, Bert, in the pregame and right before as he came out to take them out, his downward plane is extremely impressive, how high he gets on top of the baseball to shoot the ball down. If the Twins hitters don't hit or let the ball get up, they're going to have a hard time hitting the ball down because his angle is maybe the best I've seen all year.
And he looks like he throws a heavy sinker.
He does, Bert. The other thing that's impressive about watching him, because his arm angle is so high, his slider almost breaks like that forkball you were talking about. His slider goes straight down.
You know what, Ron, when we talk about a heavy sinker, when you're trying to hit a guy like a Dave Goltz, I know Goltzy, you know, when he pitched for the Twins, they said he had a heavy ball. What does that do to a hitter at the plate?
Well, I think what happens is you just don't pick the ball up, and it gets late movement, and that's where the heavy ball comes in, because you think you're on it, and then it bites in on you, so you don't ever square it up. And that's what hitters talk about, hitting a heavy ball.
And he's throwing a lot of those balls out of the strike zone.
Having a tough time getting that heavy ball over the plate. His second walk of the ball game.
Maybe Jimmy Joyce gave him the heavy ball. That's good.
Well, one thing Feldman's able to do, though, as we saw in the first inning off the bat of Joe Mauer, with that good, heavy, sinking fastball, able to get some double plays. But here's a guy right here, Michael Kadire. He has been able to read Feldman extremely well. 6 for 11 against Feldman with 2 home runs for Michael Kadire.
Twins have a pair of 1-out walks against Feldman. Now slap to right field, and that'll drop down as a hit in front of the right fielder Hamilton. So Kadire watching Feldman struggle with his control, and he jumped on the first pitch and got the first Twins hit.
It looked like a little cutter right there, maybe a slider. Kadire, who again had great success coming into this at bat, and you know what, I would have to say, Ron Cooper, when you have success against somebody, I mean, you just carry. There's that positive feeling going in.
Well, you do. You have, there's something going on style-wise that the pitcher is doing, and it plays right into your style of what you're looking for. The other thing, too, is there's just some guys that pitchers have a hard time making good pitches to. You know, and that's obviously with Michael Kadire. He sees the ball very well off Feldman. You can just tell by the swings that he takes.
Here's Harris trying to get a ball elevated, and he takes a strike. Kadyr's base hit to right the first ball. It's been hit in the air. Everything else has been pounded right into the ground, including Mauer's double play grounder in the first.
And now Harris 4 for 8 lifetime against Scott Feldman with a couple RBIs. Harris a couple hits in last night's ball game.
Very high, 1-1. Pitching coach very high on Feldman, saying he's just scratching the surface for what Maddox feels is going to be a great career as a starting pitcher in this league.
Yeah, and he's already gone through the Tommy John, so he's ready.
2-1. Double play that Feldman got in the first inning, the 140th double play that the Rangers have turned. That's the top number in the major leagues. See what Harris can get done here in a 2-1 pitch. And right now he'll step out of the box and think about it.
Yeah, Feldman not getting the sign that he wants from Rodriguez right there, so not shaking him off, just kind of waiting for Rodriguez to give him the sign he wants. Now he gets it.
And another 3-ball count. He's faced 7 batters, and he's had 5 3-ball counts already. 30 pitches, only 13 strikes.
Yeah, Feldman coming off a very good start in his last start in Tampa Bay, where the Rangers beat the Rays 4-0. 7 shutout innings for Feldman.
3-1 to Harris. Up the middle. Another ground ball. Vizquel starts it. Another double play. So each of the first 2 innings ends with a ground ball double play. Feldman pitches out of a jam in the second. A former site of Metropolitan Stadium, the Mall of America in Bloomington. I know you've been there many times. You've seen the home plate where it was at Met Stadium, and they have a seat attached up there on the wall where they say Harmon Killebrew's 520-foot upper deck shot would have been if the...
Yeah, see those 2 empty seats right there? That's where my wife and my sister-in-law are right now over at the Mall of America.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Those are seats from Metropolitan Stadium. I have a couple of those at home, actually, as keepsakes. Seats from the old Met. And I think what I might do is next year when we broadcast the first game at Target Field, just as a novelty, I might take an old seat from Met Stadium and broadcast the first game at the new ballpark from a seat from the last outdoor ballpark. 2 strikes to Michael Young. Josh Hamilton and Marlon Byrd will follow. Pavano with a much better second inning. Did give up a 2-out triple, but left Vizquel at third base. Just outside, 1-2. Young today, since he's playing his last series here, what memories he has of this ballpark. And he says, other than a sore back. Line foul over to the photographer's area.
Right in the camera well right there. Hopefully everybody's all right.
Ouch. 1-2.
Yeah, Bruce getting out of the way.
I don't know if he got out of the way. I think he took one. One and 2 to Young. Chopper to short. And Cabrera just barely got Young. Gary Pettis doesn't agree. And now here comes Ron Washington. Look from up here that Young beat it.
Well, Bill Miller, the first base umpire, is going to hear it from Ron Washington right here. Good hustle by Young out of that batter's box. Cabrera took a little extra time to get that ball over. It almost looked like he threw a changeup over there. Washington letting Miller have it. Take a look at it right here. It's just a routine ground ball, but Young hustling out of that box. And that ball didn't have a lot of zip on it. And Young looks like he beat it out.
Very close play. Nice stretch by Morneau to make it close enough to get the out call. So 1 down in the third, and that'll bring up Hamilton with a scorching double to left center field that drove in Young with the first run of the game. Swing and a foul off of Mauer. 1 strike. Mauer apparently on the left wrist or arm area.
Yeah, the bat boy, ball boy taking some balls out. Jim Joyce is going to take a little extra time as he cleans off home plate.
One strike to Hamilton. One and one. Everybody looking into the Texas dugout here. Well, if Young is continuing his, and now Jim Joyce is going to come over toward the Texas dugout. I don't believe anybody's been ejected, but now Ron Washington's going to come out.
Wash is just protecting Michael Young. If maybe Young is still upset about that call.
But again, I didn't see anybody get thumbed out of here.
No, not yet. I think, you know what, with instant replay and all this stuff, a lot of times teams have cameras in the back of the dugout and they will look at it. And Young, I'm sure, coming out and pretty upset at that call.
Ron Coomer, you got to look into that Texas dugout. What's been going on?
Well, it's been very entertaining down here. They've been jawing at the first base umpire, Miller, and because of that, there were some players sitting on the field. So that Darryl Cousins said, "You're going to jaw at us? Move inside the dugout at least." And he moved them, and a little tit for tat from the old umpires, but that's okay. Wash is steaming over here in the dugout, though. I know that.
1 and 2 to Josh Hamilton. And that's into center, and Gomez comes in to make the catch out number 2. Some new faces for the Minnesota Twins. Relief pitcher John Roush on the right and Ron Mayhay on the left. Appropriately positioned because Roush is a right-hander, Mayhay is a left-hander, and that leads us up to our carsoup.com/baseball question. Martin Johnson from Cloquet. Oh, great. How does the waiver process work?
Go ahead. You did the research, right?
I've learned a lot more about it, but I'd be hard-pressed to say that I am sure how this all works out. We can tell you this, that when a player's put on waivers, there's a clock that starts, and I believe it's 72 hours.
72 hours.
72 hours. So then Bill Smith and all the other general managers can submit a claim, and the claims are sent to the Major League office. And then after the 72 hours, not when the player's put on waivers, but after the 72 hours, Major League Baseball takes a look at the claims, and then the team with the lowest record gets the first shot at that player. And it's intriguing because we don't know for sure when, say, Rich Harden of the Cubs was put on waivers, or when the Twins submitted their claim. To put it another way, when Harden's clock started, the 72-hour period. And it might have been that when he was put on waivers and when the claims were submitted, the Twins were beneath the White Sox, but now the White Sox are beneath the Twins. So it can change in the 72 hours. And I know that in trying to explain it, all I did was create more confusion. 2-2 to Marlon Byrd. Two and two. Foul. Bird's leg.
Bird very stocky, very strong. Trying to go inside, and Bird fouling it off that left foot.
Michael Young thinks he should be on the bases with a leadoff infield hit. As it is, Pavano's one good pitch away from having his first 1-2-3 inning. Pulled the string, got him on a strikeout. So Pavano has his first 1-2-3 inning tonight. How can you argue that?
You can't.
My favorite yogiism is, of course, half of them are apocryphal. He never said them, I guess. But talking about a restaurant, he says nobody goes there anymore. It's too crowded. Carlos Gomez leads off the third. And he takes a breaking pitch, ball one. Gomez, Casilla, and Spans face Feldman.
I like the pizza one where he orders a pizza and the guy says, "Do you want me to cut it in 4 or 8 slices?" He said, "Oh, cut it in 8. I'm not that hungry."
One and one to Gomez. Watched whatever it was, Steve McQueen's last movie, and left the theater and apparently told his wife, "You must have made that before he died." Line to Young. A well hit ball for the first out. And again, it's just kind of hard to argue with that.
Yeah.
One down in the third. Target back to school weekend wraps up tomorrow afternoon against the Rangers. And the first 5,000 fans 14 under will receive a cool Joe Mauer Mike Redmond catcher's backpack. Tickets for Target back to school weekend are available at twinsbaseball.com or 833 Twins. One away in the third, and here's Casilla. Strike one. And a slow breaking ball over for strike two.
Yeah, you want to get Feldman before he starts getting into a pretty good groove, and he kind of struggled the first couple innings, but now he's kind of found that strike zone a little bit.
Kicks away from Rodriguez.
That's a good pitch right there. You're ahead in the count 0-2. Try to bounce that ball right on the other side of home plate and believe that your catcher can stop it.
One and two. And a high fastball, a swing and a miss, 2 down. Quickly here in the third.
Feldman picking up his first strikeout.
And it'll get Span to the plate with 2 gone and the base is empty. Ball one. Twins have done this all season long, wearing the 1982 commemorative uniform on Saturday night. And when they opened up this ballpark in 1982, the number 2 was worn by, see if you know.
Pardon me? Did you say, do I know?
Yeah, who wore number 2 in 1982?
1982.
Say,
Ron Washington.
No, it was John Castino.
Was it?
And Span gets Minnesota's second hit. That'll bring up Orlando Cabrera.
Span continues to swing a hot bat. Now a 6-game hitting streak.
Cabrera drew a walk on a 3-2 pitch in the first inning. Twins have had some opportunities, I guess, at least with men on base. They've gotten 2 walks and a couple of hits now against Feldman. To this point, haven't been able to string anything together. Span goes, and Rodriguez with a throw, not in time. So the Twins do some running. Span gets another stolen base, and he's into scoring position.
Yeah, his 20th stolen base of the year. He got a very good jump right there on Feldman. Rodriguez, of course, a great arm behind the plate, like Mauer. Good, strong throw. Rodriguez thinking that he had him, but Span gets in the scoring position.
20 for 27 now for Denard Span. 1-0 to Cabrera. Chopper to Young. And Cabrera retired, and they leave Span at second base through 3 innings. Scott Feldman and the Rangers leading 2-0.
something, it's a little unique. It's called a fry dog. And what it is the hot dog and French fries together. It's kind of pressed, the heated press. They use a batter to make the fries stick. They're waffle fries. So it sticks right on the hot dog, because why would you waste your time eating a hot dog and then a bite of French fries? Why wouldn't you do it all in one? Put the stick on it. Here's your fry dog. How about that? Looks good, huh?
Might have to try that. I'm actually going to go to the State Fair, I think, on Thursday. So we might give that a try. Here's Ian Kinsler leading off the Texas 4. Strike one. Kinsler, Murphy, and Rodriguez to face Pavano, who's trying to do what Tommy Hunter did last night. Had a rough first inning and then pitched pretty well after that. 1-1. If you're going to the State Fair, you want to stop by the Fox Sports North booth. We're right there off of Judson Avenue by the International Bazaar, across from the Agriculture Horticulture building. Just, well, wouldn't it be safe to say that if you got a whiff of the goats, that we're pretty close to the goats?
I was thinking more some other animals.
2-0 to Ian Kinsler leading off the 4th inning.
Watch Mauer move right here. See if he goes back inside again. He does. Get that ball in there, and he just misses inside. Something that he was unable to do in his first at-bat. Let the ball out over the plate, and Kinsler got that RBI single up the middle.
And now a full count. Pavano hasn't walked anybody. Of course, that's one of his strengths as a pitcher. He really is stingy in issuing free passes. Kinsler, very good at stealing bases. He's leading off the 4th. This is not the guy you want to issue a walk to. And that's exactly what happened. He got ahead of him and then lost him. So the leadoff man is on here in the 4th. And here's our Aflac trivia question tonight.
Aflac.
Which Ranger has the most all-time wins and strikeouts at the Metrodome? And again, to clarify with the truck, this is as a Ranger, correct? Okay. Well, Nolan Ryan would be a good guess, wouldn't you think?
Yes, he would.
Here's Murphy. Strikeout victim to end the 1st inning. Kinsler goes in the first pitch. Mauer's throw. Not quite in time. A closer play. But Kinsler has his and the team's 2nd stolen base against Pavano.
Kinsler stole 2 bases in last night's ball game, and here doesn't waste any time. Reading Pavano very well, and Pavano again a little slow getting that ball home. And Kinsler a head first slide, going for the outfield side of that bag. Now with 28 stolen bases on the year.
So the leadoff Walker is at 2nd. And a fly to center field. Gomez trots in. Makes the catch. 1 down. So not a good at bat for David Murphy.
No, not a good at bat at
all. 1 down, and here's Rodriguez. You look at Rodriguez and you talk to him, and you get the idea that he is not at the end of his career. He claims he wants to play for a few more years yet. He's had kind of a nomadic existence the last couple of years. He was with the Tigers for a long while, then finished last year with the Yankees. Talked to a bunch of suitors during the winter, finally signed late with the Astros. Now he's back with the Rangers. Pickoff at 2nd.
Oh, a little late.
And Pavano's throw up around the helmet of Kinsler.
Yeah, on that play right there, Cabrera cut a little bit too early, and Pavano was not looking at him because Kinsler had a great lead. And that's good to show right there, that base runner. At least you will have that turnaround move. So Kinsler doesn't get that walking lead.
Check swing, 1-0. Rangers have 2 young catchers. Jared Saltalamacchia on the shelf right now. Taylor Teagarden. Rodriguez excited to rejoin the Rangers, and who knows, he might be with them for a good little while.
There he goes.
Kinsler to third, and the pitch swung on and fouled back. Kinsler got a huge jump from second base.
And Cabrera's going to go in and talk to Pavano right there. Well, you look at Rodriguez, and take a look at the jump right here that Kinsler gets. Probably would have been able to steal third, but Rodriguez fouling the pitch off. Rodriguez, a guy that has almost 2,700 major league hits, so I think 3,000 hits are probably something that he's looking for. 37 years old, keeps himself in great shape. This is his 19th major league season. Just over 300 career home runs.
Off-speed pitch, and Rodriguez taps it foul. He was the gold standard in the American League, very briefly in the National League, in terms of defensive and offensive prowess as a catcher.
Yeah, 13-time Rawling Gold Glove winner. You saw 14-time All-Star.
Helped the Rangers to postseason play for a couple of seasons. 1-2. Pavano looking for a strikeout, and he gets it. Out number 2.
Getting Rodriguez for the second time in a ball game and his 5th strikeout.
That'll bring up Chris Davis.
Might have been that split finger right there. Good changeup, and Rodriguez a little quick.
Now the strikeout-prone Davis, with Kinsler still at second base after the leadoff walk, and then the steal of second on the very next pitch. Skied near third base. Harris lost it, found it, and now catches it to end the inning. So Pavano does a nice job after the leadoff walk. Bottom of the 4th, the Rangers still lead 2-0. Scott Feldman staked to an early 2-0 lead before he threw his first pitch, and so far he's made it hold up going to the bottom of the 4th inning. White Sox lost this afternoon. The Tigers lost, so the Twins have a chance to get to within 3.5 games of first place if they can come back and win this game here tonight. Bauer, Morneau, and Kubel, the 3 lefties waiting for Feldman here in the 4th. Ball 1. Facsimile sideburns. Strike in the outside corner. What we've seen from up here is Feldman. The reason he's won 13 games, he pitches to the frame of the strike zone, but he hasn't left much of anything right over the middle of it.
He's got good movement on the pitches. Good sinker. Now working inside of that little cutter.
Nearly fumbled by Davis, but he makes the play, 1 away. Dodge game break, and early this morning at Target Field, the last strip of sod laid on the field that will be the Minnesota Twins home next year.
Great job, guys.
And the sound effect of a sprinkler, which they, of course, haven't needed here. Morneau takes outside a ball. Morneau hit a ground ball to Davis his first time up. Foul, and that got Jim Joyce, I believe. More Rodriguez.
Oh, he showed you all the games that Rodriguez has been able to catch, more than anybody in Major League history.
2-1.
2,254 games, I believe it was.
Well, Bob Boone had the record. Fisk broke it.
Fisk.
And then Rodriguez. Lifted foul and out of play. 2-2. Nice souvenir to take home. The foul ball off the bat of Justin Morneau. It's again through the legs of Rodriguez. And it's 3-2. Sixth 3-ball count for Feldman. He's thrown more balls than strikes here. Nevertheless, he shut the Twins out. That's hit to right. Hamilton's back with enough room to make the catch right at the fence. 2 down.
Yeah, a little bit off the end of the bat. Feldman just rearing back and challenging Justin, and just off the end of the bat. And Justin quite didn't get it.
It's a 2 down, and that'll bring up Kubel, who drew a 1-out walk in the second. Twins took a walk in the first, hit into a double play, took a walk in the second, backed it up with a single, and then hit into a double play. Down and in, ball 1. Exciting time of the year. It's easy to think about fall baseball when it feels like fall outside. Very cool temperatures here in the Twin Cities area in the upper Midwest. 3-0 with Kadire on deck.
having a tough time throwing pitches to Kubel. 8 pitches, all of them out of the strike zone. His third walk of the ball game. Kubel second time.
Before Michael Kadire comes to the plate, information on season tickets at Target Field from Matt Guerrero.
Hi, Matt Guerrero here, reminding you it's not too late to get into the game at Target Field. Right now, you can reserve your seat at Target Field for a per-seat deposit of only $100. Call today to reserve your Target Field ticket plan.
Kadire with a line drive single to right in the first pitch he saw from Feldman in the second inning. Smothered by Rodriguez. Ball 1. 58 pitches, 32 balls, only 26 strikes for Feldman.
Been able to make the pitch when he's needed it. He's been battling out there. The thing about Feldman, what I've seen, that when he's missed down in the strike zone.
Half swing, but a strike, 1-1.
Running fastball, and Kadire unable to hold up. And running fastball right into him.
Bouncer to third. Easy play for Young. The inning ends. Twins leave a runner aboard. They've been shut out through 4. The Rangers have a 2-0 lead.
Because I have $100 in Minnesota State Lottery tickets for Bob and Marie Bushman, who tonight, Dick and Bert, are celebrating wedding anniversary number 60. And this is all their family. They have all their kids, their grandkids, and their great-grandkids, a total of 28 here celebrating with them tonight. So a very special happy 60th wedding anniversary to Bob and Marie Bushman. And I got to tell you, if I'm ever married 60 years, I want my party to be like this, guys.
Oh, forget it, Robbie. You'll never be married 60 years. But congratulations to Bob and Marie. He's got to find a girl first, doesn't he?
1-1. Maybe he'll meet somebody at the state fair. I bet you that's been the source of a lot of great romances.
Not even touching it.
2-1 to Omar Vizquel. Vizquel tripled to right center field his first time up. 2-2. Vizquel, Bourbon, and Young facing Pavano, who gave up 3 hits and a couple of runs in the first, but nothing since. A triple, a walk, and a stolen base, but he's done a nice job hanging some zeros up. This one hit on the fly to right center field. And it's Pedire's catch, one away.
Well, the pitches for Pavano, 75 pitches in a ball game. 50 have been strikes, so that's where you want to be. 2 strikes to every ball thrown.
One down in the 5th. There's Julio Bourbon. Bourbon struck out in the 1st, hit a little comebacker to Pavano in the 2nd. And that one will skip into center field. So now Bourbon and his speed aboard with 1 out in the 5th. And Bird had a chance to catch up with Carl Pavano, who said that one of the big influences on his career is sitting in the visiting dugout.
I mean, one guy that comes to mind is their pitching coach, Mike Maddox. I mean, he was on our team for a couple of years, and you know, he was around a while, and he was a guy that had you know, I would say, you know, above average to above average stuff, and always made the best of it. So it was a good guy to talk to. He was in relief, I was starting, so he was a guy I picked his brain a lot.
Yeah, to ask Carl Pavano, since, you know, he's kind of the senior veteran here in his pitching staff, you know, a lot of our young guys are going to kind of pick his brain a little bit, and asked him, you know, when he came up with the Montreal Expos, who kind of helped him and mentored him throughout his career, especially at a young age. And you mentioned Mike Maddox, highly respected pitching coach.
Of course, his brother Greg, a future Hall of Fame starting pitcher, but Mike Maddox, a Matt Guerrero type, as I recall, right? A middle to late inning setup guy.
Right.
And Bourbon takes off, and the pitch foul. Bourbon got a great jump. The Tigers, or excuse me, the Rangers seem intent on running at every opportunity. Of course, part and parcel of that is getting the right guys on base. Kinsler's been on twice, and now Bourbon is on.
You see Gary Pettis right there in the background, a guy that stole a lot of bases in his playing career. Dave Anderson, the third base coach, giving signs.
2 strikes to Young. We'll see if the Twins pitch out. Step off and a look over.
You saw Mauer. I don't know if you saw it on the screen. Mauer really sitting inside on Young. And Mauer looking into the Twins dugout.
Bourbon with a huge lead. His left foot barely on the dirt. Double hit. Still 2 strikes. This will be Pavano's 80th pitch in terms of strike to ball ratio. He's done a much better job than Scott Feldman. Twins have hit into a couple of double plays. Pavano can get Young to do that here. He's bounced into a team leading 14 double plays on the season. And they pitch out on 0-2. Now they count 1-2.
Well, Steve Little giving the signs to Joe Mauer. If they pitch out again.
Runner stays put. Swing and a miss. Young's gone on strikes. 2 away.
Pavano picking up his 6th strikeout. Looked like the split finger or the changeup that Pavano uses.
Pettis coming over to talk to Bourbon about something.
You see a little bit of drop right there. Good job by Joe Mauer keeping that ball in his glove as that ball lands right on the other side of home plate.
A couple of times tonight now we've shown you Steve Little giving signs from the dugout, and the Rangers of course looking at the bench coach. And we've seen a lot of the Rangers lately. How often might the bench coach change signs with the catcher about calling a pitch out or a throw over?
Yeah, sometimes, you know, they'll look at the third base coach and there goes Bourbon and no throw. Another good changeup right there, but no chance for Mauer to throw out or just even throw to second base. Bourbon picks up his 10th stolen base in 11 attempts.
Rangers have now stolen 8 bases on Carl Pavano in his 2 starts against them in just over 8 innings. 1 strike to Hamilton. That ball rolls by Mauer, and Bourbon will just drift a few feet from second base.
Well, that play right there, very hard for a runner at second base to see exactly how far that ball rolls away from the catcher. Kind of blocked out by the catcher retrieving the ball, and then the umpire there.
Pavano steps off. Sky to short center. Cabrera out. Gomez in. Span in. And it's Gomez with the call on the catch. And Pavano puts another 0 up in the 5th. Still trailing though 2-0. Twins did enough scoring in the first inning last night to win a ball game. Twins hope that won't be the case for the Rangers tonight. Along with Robbie Makowski, Ron Coomer, Bert Blyleven, I'm Dick Kramer, and the Rangers did get a couple of first inning runs to take a 2-0 lead. And Scott Feldman will face the bottom third of the Twins lineup here in the 5th.
Feldman with 3 walks in a ball game, only 1 strikeout. He's only given up 2 hits, a single to Span and a single to Kadire.
Harris fouls the first pitch back. Harris bounced into a double play, broke his bat in the process. The Twins had runners at first and second with 1 out. And it was the second inning-ending double play Feldman coaxed in a row. One and one. Ron Coomer, I don't know that Scott Feldman's had great command tonight, but he's pitching a shutout. What's going on?
He is pitching a shutout, and it's pretty amazing that you can have more balls than strikes in a ball game, and you're into the 5th inning. The Twins hitters today just have to, for the rest of the game while Feldman's in the ball game, so he's only got 64 pitches. You got to be patient, and you got to let him get deep into the count, because more times than not, you're going to end up with a 3-1 count. In that 2-seamer, he won't be able to throw it as effective as he does if he's ahead of you. To me, like this at bat here, you swing at the very first pitch, not a very productive at bat.
That's off the glove of Young, and he'll track it down by the Twins bullpen. Harris to second with a double. The second hop kind of ate up Young behind the third base bag, and the Twins get a leadoff double.
Well, Young really playing off the line right there, and that's a breaking ball, and Harris able to knock it down that third base line. The ball getting away from Young. That should be a double the whole way right there.
Yeah, guys, that's an AstroTurf hit right there. The top spin, the ball hit, and then the top spin. If Young cuts the ball off while it's still in the air, he has a chance to at least keep it in the infield, obviously. When the ball hits that second hop, it just takes off like a super ball. No chance for him.
Here's Gomez lined out to Young his first time up, and he hacks it foul. Like he was trying to push the ball to the right side there.
Remember in the first inning we saw Gomez slipping and sliding a little bit out of left center and then right center. Well, he has the cleats on now. Metal cleats. Changing his shoes.
Nice job by Gomez. He got jammed. He shattered his bat, but he got the job done, getting Harris to third. Tried to do it in his the first pitch, and he accomplished it in the second pitch.
That's a great at bat. That's the maturity of Gomez right here. You can see him kind of inside out that ball. Get over there. Almost pushed it toward Kinsler. Great at bat right there.
And now Casilla, who did not have a good at bat, he struck out quickly against Feldman in the third, and now Harris is at third with one away. That's what the Twins want to see more of, just awareness of the situation from a lot of the players that are still very young and learning as they go. Corner infielders up, middle infielders back for the Casilla at bat. And a called strike.
Well, as a player, you can only do so much. It's such a team game, and Gomez right there doing that for the team. It's an offer in the tomorrow's column in the paper, but that's a great at bat.
And that's strike two, and Rodriguez keeps it near home plate. Well, Casilla has just one hit in 7 at bats against Feldman, but the hit was a 3-run homer. That's kind of what Ron Coomer was talking about. The guy has been struggling with his command, and 2 pitches into the Casilla at bat. It's 0-2.
Well, he's bearing down a little bit in situations like this. Now, he struck out Casilla on a high fastball after throwing him a lot of breaking balls in his first at-bat. And he tried that high fastball again, but a little bit too high.
First time the Twins have had a runner to third base. They need to get him in here, down a couple of runs. Higher. And it's 2-2.
Great catch by Rodriguez, because it looked to me he was sitting inner half of the plate, and the ball at the last second he puts up that glove, able to get that ball in the glove. Great reflexes right there by Ivan Rodriguez.
2-2 to Casilla. And now a full count with Span on deck.
Tried to overthrow that breaking ball right there. The Rangers are giving the Twins a run if Casilla can just hit the ball past the pitcher.
3-2. Ball back. It's not the 6th inning when the Twins have done so much scoring over the last week or so. It's the 5th, but an important runner at third nonetheless. You can see the infield playing back. Didn't take much to get the first run across here in the 5th inning. Casilla strikes out on a high fastball, 2 down.
Almost the same pitch that struck him out in the 3rd inning. Mike Maddox now going out to talk to Feldman. Back with that fastball and almost deja vu of that first strikeout. So Feldman picking up 2 strikeouts in a ball game, both of them Alexi Casilla.
At this point, neither team's done a good job with men in scoring position. Texas has just 1 for 8. The Twins 0 for 4. This will be the 5th plate appearance, or at bat, perhaps. Span single to left in the 3rd, stole 2nd. Twins caught a bit of a break here with Harris doubling off the glove of Michael Young to start the inning, and now the Twins are in danger of stranding him at 3rd. Check swing, ball 1.
Interesting visit by Mike Maddox, because after Casilla struck out, Mike Maddox was out there right away. It wasn't to give Feldman a breather. It was maybe going on how they're going to pitch Span with Cabrera on deck. And both pitches middle in.
Little dribble to first, right at the bag.
Stay in on his hands, and Feldman able to do it.
Harris left at 3rd. It's still 2-0. This year, the Grand Casino game reset, showing you that they've had the advantage in a low-scoring game tonight.
RBI double for Josh Hamilton in the 1st inning, scoring Michael Young. There you go. Hereby circled.
From here in South Dakota, Pheasant Country, Marlon Byrd will lead off the 6th against Carl Pavano. Bird, Kinsler, and Murphy facing Pavano. Twins have been out hit 5-3. The difference in the game, the Rangers put 3 hits together in the 1st inning to score a couple of runs, and the Twins have 3 hits in 3 different innings. Bird with a bouncer to 2nd and a strikeout. Strike 2. One and 2. Twins undergoing a pretty major facelift when you think about it, since the end of July, or since the All-Star break. A new shortstop. Cabrera's been in the lineup every day. Pavano's taking his turn every 5th or 6th day. Now a couple of new relievers.
I think you have to give a lot of credit to Billy Smith and the organization because they're trying to really stay. And, you know, that man right there, he wants new changes when it did not work. And you know, Billy Smith on the phone right now. Maybe he's looking for somebody else. But the Twins in this race, and that's what they want to do.
Bird strikes out on a sinking fastball. 1-0.
And strikeout number 7. For Pavano in this ball game.
Very much a veteran presence with both John Roush and Ron Mayhew.
Yeah, I mean, these guys, we mentioned last night, Roush has pitched more appearances than anybody in Major League Baseball since 2006, and Ron Mayhew, an established left-handed setup man.
In the case of Roush, he had enough appearances with Arizona to where his contract for next year has already been vested or guaranteed. So, barring another transaction, you'll see a lot of John Roush down in the bullpen, not just this year, but next year. And then you mix in Crane, who's pitched much better since his recall. Guerrero. Next year, the hope is Pat Neshek will be healthy. Boof Bobser is still held out as an option perhaps to help yet this year. And speaking of Ron Mayhew, he's going to join Jesse Crane and get loose down on the Twins' pen. 1-1 to Kinsler, who's reached twice and stolen second twice. And he'll get another opportunity here after a 1-out single. Aflac trivia question with David Murphy coming to the plate and Pavano trying to figure out how to hold Kinsler closer at first.
Aflac!
The Ranger with the most wins all time and strikeouts at the Dome.
I'm going to go with Charlie Huff.
I'm going to go with Nolan Ryan.
Mike Witt. Or Bobby Witt. I played with Mike Witt. Bobby Witt.
And isn't it interesting? Nolan Ryan, 5 letters first name, 4 letters second name. Bobby Witt, 5 letters first name, 4 letters second name. Very, very similar. One strike to Murphy. Can we put that in the win column?
Still, I think they have to change that. I still think Charlie Huff had the most wins here.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time the guys in the truck were wrong.
No, I think they should check it over.
Swinging a foul, and to this point, Kinsler stayed put at first. Crane and Mayhew warming up. 95th pitch of the night coming up for Carl Pavano. Kinsler stays put, and a little pop-up right field, and Casilla measures it, makes the catch, out number 2.
A good pitch right there, got in on Murphy, jammed him a little bit, create that little pop-up to Casilla for the second out.
And now Ivan Rodriguez. Rodriguez has struck out twice, swinging against Pavano. Fouled down by the Texas bullpen, which has been quiet all night long. A quarrel with what Pavano's given the Twins here tonight.
He's done a good job. You mentioned Tommy Hunter last night. He did a good job for the Rangers.
Jose Morales back with the ball club. Joe Creedy put on the disabled list after the game last night. Creedy's going to get another epidural apparently in the hopes that he'll be able to rejoin the club in a week or so. High fastball and a swing and a miss.
2 good fastballs right there by Pavano. Rodriguez had him talking to himself a little bit after that swing. There's a move you were talking about. Joe Creedy put on the DL. And for the 4th time, Jose Morales has come up here and been with the Twins this season.
He may have seen Rochester, New York for the last time. 2 strikes. Kinsler goes, and the pitch popped up to right field. Kadire comes in a few steps. 6 pretty good innings for Carl Pavano. 2 for the Rangers in the first. We'll see if Joe Mauer and company can come back with a patented 6th inning rally. Play at first base. Looks like Michael Young beat it out.
Yeah, this the first out of the top of the 3rd inning. Cabrera's throw not quite in the glove yet of Justin, as Michael Young's foot on the bag.
The Frost Brew Coors Light Freeze Can. All right, this has been the inning that has been so good to the Twins over the last couple of weeks. The 6th inning. Cabrera, Mauer, and Morneau facing Feldman, who's not given the Twins much, just a couple of walks, 3 hits. He has thrown 76 pitches, and now most of them are strikes, but 39-37. So he's not had great command, but has pitched effectively nonetheless.
11 ground ball outs in the 15 outs recorded so far by Feldman. 2 fly ball outs to go with his 2 strikeouts. 2 double plays turned behind him.
Such a key at bat or plate appearance here. If Cabrera can get aboard in front of Mauer, Morneau, and Kubel, we might see more production in this 6th inning. 3-0. Cabrera walked in the first and then was doubled up on a ground ball off the bat of Mauer. 9th 3-ball count.
Probably take a pitch right here, make him throw a strike.
Twins have not had the leadoff man on until Harris is double in the 5th. Missed badly, and it's a 4-pitch walk to start the 6th inning. Time for the Quest high-speed pitch, brought to you by Quest High-Speed Internet.
Feldman at 93 with that good sinker. Pavano at 91. Both starters pitching outstanding here tonight, as both starters did last night. And Tommy Hutton and Brian Dunsing winning a 2nd Major League game.
Mauer's hit a ground ball double play to short in the first, and then he pulled one to the first baseman Davis. There's 1 out in the 4th. Decent chance, by the way, Ichiro for the Mariners might not play at all this weekend with that calf injury. Mauer's average down to 370. A sentence I don't think I've ever constructed before.
Feldman with 4 walks in a ballgame. 2nd time this season he's walked 4 in a game.
Mauer's hit a home run against Feldman. Tries to bunt his way aboard, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, not a bad play right there, because Young playing a deep 3rd base. Was playing a little deeper than that right there, but Joe just trying to soften it and hit that ball down the third baseline. Instead, it's a foul ball.
Two strikes to Mauer. One and two. Cabrera scampers back to first.
We've seen over the years, Rodriguez loves that play. That runner cannot take that big a lead, or Rodriguez would throw behind the hitter and maybe throw you out.
And over the course of nearly 20 years, how many double plays has that set up? How many times has that kept a runner going from first to third on a single or scoring on a double? Counts even now to Mauer. Cabrera's better base stealing days are behind him, so the Twins don't expect to send him to too much, although he has stolen twice since the trade to the Twins.
Yeah, 13 stolen bases overall between here and Oakland in 17 attempts.
Line to center, a base hit. Cabrera to second, a big turn. He'll hold up there. And the Twins are hoping that here we go again in the sixth inning.
Well, again, such a pure hitter right there. Mike Maddox coming out to talk to his right-hander, but Mauer getting a pitch down, getting good wood on it. Take a look at the pitch. Good pitch. But Mauer able to always get the barrel of the bat on the ball. And he lines that in the center field.
You're talking about it all the time. Ron Coomer is, from a hitter's perspective, making adjustments. I'll bet you that pitch right there with Feliz starting his warm-up tosses, that pitch not too much unlike the one he bounced into a double play back in the first inning, but the hitter made the adjustment.
Yep.
First and second, nobody out, and here's Morneau. A bouncer to first and a warning track fly ball to right in the fourth. Morneau 3 for 11 now against Feldman. And again looking for home run number 30. Twins would love a home run. They'd love a hit. They'd love a productive out to get the tying run into scoring position somehow. Down and in, and Morneau taps it foul. You can understand why this guy gets so many ground balls. As you said before, when he misses out of the strike zone, and he's missed 43 times tonight. There have been a few that have been wild high, but for the most part he's been below the knees. One strike. Snap bat, and the ball hit off his front leg, and now Morneau's up there with an 0-2 count.
And he'll have to get a new bat. Going after Justin the same way that he went after Denard Span in last inning. Just that little cutter, slider, inner half of the plate.
Feldman had Mauer 0-2, ended up evening the count and then giving up the sharp single to center. We'll see how he attacks Morneau here with the tying run at first and nobody out. 2 strikes to the Twins first baseman. Bouncer right side. Bauer holds up. They'll get the lead runner there, and Morneau will reach first. Bauer had to wait for the ball to clear in front of him before he could proceed towards second base.
Well, Feldman got the ground ball. He kept rolling that ball inner half of the plate, and Justin, a ground ball. Kinsler over to Young. Young thought about it if Cabrera had rounded the bag, but Orlando Cabrera went right to third base bag. No play.
Feldman has yet to throw a strike to Jason Kubel. He's walked him twice on 4 pitches. And of course, the meeting on the mound, and what Feldman would really love to do is have Kubel hit the top half of a good sinker and get another double play ball. Kubel walked in the second, got as far as second, then walked and was left at first in the 4th. Snap back, a little fly. Kinsler will make the catch, and Feldman has absolutely sawed off both Morneau and Kubel on successive pitches.
Like a Mariano Rivera, a little cutter right there. That ball just kind of in on Kubel. Opening up quickly, the bat exploding, and Kinsler catching it out in short right field.
It was the next to last pitch to Morneau where he shattered his bat. And now Ron Washington's going to come out and get Feldman with Kadire coming to the plate. Mike Maddox was out a little while ago, so the Rangers are going to make a pitching change with 89 pitches. And just a few more strikes than balls. Feldman leaves with a 2-0 lead. Great entertainment on the Quest Plaza and special performances in the pregame show on the Metrodome Field. Celebrate our diversity as the Twins host Texas. And there's a special ticket offer. To find out more, call 800-33-TWINS or log on to twinsbaseball.com. Here's Neftali Feliz, who's given the Rangers a huge shot in the arm after his call-up.
Boy, look at the strikeouts in innings pitched. 21 strikeouts in 16 1/3 innings, but only 1 walk. Feliz getting called up from AAA on August 2nd.
And he spins a breaking ball in there in the low 70s. He can throw, has been clocked at least at 100 miles per hour. And as we saw in Texas a week and a half ago, the ball just comes out of his hand so nice and easy. At breakneck speed, 1-1.
Yeah, those are the sliders that he's thrown to Kadire, the first 2 pitches. Just 21 years old. He came over in a Mark Teixeira trade from the Atlanta Braves back in 2007.
There's a fastball. Missing. It's 2-1.
He's from the Dominican Republic, 6'3", about 190.
Kadire didn't face him in Texas a week and a half ago. 2-1. 3-1. And to this point, when we faced him, or when the Twins faced him a week and a half ago, he hadn't walked anybody. He has issued 1 walk. Harris on deck. Walk, of course, gets the tying run into scoring position. 3-1 to Kadire. And he threw him a 73-mile-per-hour breaking pitch.
Sure, Michael looking fastball right there from the youngster.
Full count. Morneau will leave early with 2 gone. Twins left a runner on third in the 5th. Don't want to do it again here in the 6th. Got him with another breaking ball. So Kadire strikes out. Feliz gets the job done, and the Twins are stymied in the 6th. Now that gentleman's enjoying a dome dog here. Regular hot dog in a bun. And you have brought us something, Marty, from the State Fair.
That's the way hot dogs should be. I brought from the State Fair, purchased tonight for Bert. This is not last night.
This isn't last night.
This is the peanut butter filled. You can kind of see they inject the peanut butter in, okay? Peanut butter hot dog
I see it.
with bacon and bananas.
May I try it?
You may.
It's amazing.
Very good.
Really?
Yeah.
I like peanut butter. I like hot dogs. I like bananas. I like bacon. Ain't no way I like them all together. Peggy's hot dogs downstairs.
Can I
beat
keep
that
it?
one. But this is from the Blue Moon Dine-In. You can keep it. And I know if you have that palate, it's good. Like for you, it's good. For me, I'll take a little something simpler. I'm glad you like it.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. That better be gone by the 8th inning. And I don't mean in the garbage.
No, it'll be gone.
All right.
Well, thank you, Marnie. Ron Mayhay making his Twins debut. Just put on his Twins uniform for the first time today at the ballpark.
Yeah, Mayhay, of course, with the Kansas City Royals. 37-year-old Ron Mayhay. Those are his numbers with the Kansas City Royals. 4.79 ERA, 41 1/3 innings, 34 strikeouts, 19 walks. Got a fastball, slider, and a changeup.
Been quite a few years with the Texas Rangers, so he pitching for an unfamiliar team the Twins, pitching against a team he's probably more familiar with than the team he's pitching for.
Well, he's with Texas from 2003 to 2007. And then traded over to the Braves in 2007.
3-2. Brian Dunsing, who pitched so wonderfully here last night, was in the bullpen for a while. There's been a whole host of others. Greg Breslow, Sean Henn, Mayhay, a veteran presence to help out Maharis from the left side. Fly ball left center, tagged pretty well. Gomez in the gap, and it's Span making the catch, one away. Dodge game summary with all the scoring being done in the first inning.
Well, with Michael Young at first base, that ball going all the way to the wall. Gomez slipping right there, but Young scoring the first run of the ball game. And Omar Vizquel with a triple in the second inning. And Ian Kinsler right there, the RBI single in the first. But Carl Pavano pitched very good. He pitched 6 very good innings, allowed 6 hits to the Rangers, a good hitting ball club.
Here's Vizquel taking up and away a ball. Vizquel with a triple to right center and then a fly ball in the same general direction. And the White Sox and Tigers both lost earlier today, so the Twins with a chance to pick up a game on both. Back into the seats, 1-1. The Rangers losing a really tough ball game last night, nearly tying it on a ball hit high off the drape. Game ended on a controversial strikeout. They find themselves 2.5 games behind Boston in the wild card race, and the Red Sox have a 1-0 lead on Toronto tonight. About the same spot in the game. Check swing, should be strike 3. Or a strike 2, should say. 1-2.
We talked about Rodriguez. What about this guy right here? This guy has been game around the game. This is his 21st year at the major league level. Omar Vizquel keeps himself in great shape.
I was just going to say that. I mean, and like Rodriguez, I don't know that there's an ounce of body fat on either one of them.
You see the career numbers.
Mayhay gets Vizquel to strike out on an off-speed pitch, 2 down.
Yeah, good breaking ball right there. Mayhay, a converted outfielder turned pitcher. Almost like a little cutter right there. Mayhay gets a strikeout, his first Twins strikeout.
And now Julio Bourbon. Ideally, Ron Gardenhire said this afternoon he'd get both Mayhay and Roush into the game. Neither's pitched for a while. Mayhay's last appearance for the Royals came against the Twins last weekend. And for Roush, it's been a few days. Strike on the outside corner. To echo what you said, I think the Twins did a great job of improving a weak area in the roster without giving away the future. 1-2.
We can still hear Jim Joyce screaming out that strike.
Could be a good barker at the Midway at the State Fair. 1-2. Gardenhire has a little bit more to work with when he looks down to the bullpen now. It's going to be a tough play, and it'll bleed into center field. Bourbon's aboard. So now Mayhay, a veteran left-hander, will try to hold Bourbon at first with 2 out.
Yeah, Bourbon picking up his second straight single. He did steal a base in the 5th inning, that off of Pavano.
And now Jesse Crane will be brought into the game to pitch to the right-handed hitting Michael Young. So Mayhay gets his Twins debut out of the way, pitches effectively, gets the first 2 men, and gives up a single off the end of the bat to Bourbon. Pitcher, the manager, had a nice first outing here. He gave up just a single off the end of the bat with 2 outs to Bourbon. And say here, without the mustard, that's the way a hot dog should be. But you know, you've been.
I could have added some mustard in this.
You ate most of what Marnie brought you from the state fair. I caught you once eating the bacon separately, but other than that,
Well, I don't want all the bread.
There's Jesse Crane with Michael Young at the plate, but you would endorse that?
Yes. Why not? He's from the fair. You saw the numbers on Crane making his 38th relief appearance. Crane last worked here on Tuesday against the Orioles. 2 shutout innings. Actually 2+ shutout innings. Gave up only 1 hit. 30 pitches, 21 for strikes in the Twins' 7-6 win over the Orioles.
Michael Young is 0 for 9 against Jesse Crane. Jesse's never struck him out, but he's retired him 9 times in 9 at bats.
Quick throw right there. Jesse Crane, I've mentioned before, very quick feet, very quick move to first base.
Rangers stole 3 bases while Carl Pavano was out there. 1-0 to Young. That's a close play. He just barely got back.
Yep.
Morneau thought they got him.
Well, it's the feet for a right-handed pitcher that makes a good move, and
he got him.
Sure looked like he got him right there. Better view. Yep.
Oh, that's a great view. One and 0 to Young. Hit to right. Kadire retreats to end the inning. So Ron Mahay gets the first 2 outs. Jesse Crane retires Michael Young for the 10th time.
Guys, you are hereby circled.
It gets into the 50s at night. People start bringing out their hockey gear. Wild switchers. Neftali Feliz. I was talking during the inning break with Eric Nadel, the longtime radio voice of the Texas Rangers. He says this is the first time Feliz has thrown that slow breaking ball. First time ever for the Rangers. They didn't even know he had it. And he really confused Kadire and got him to strike out in a key spot. Here's Harris. Strike 1. Harris, Gomez, and Casilla facing Feliz here in the 7th. This again from Eric Nadel, who's watched all of Feliz's appearances. He says he's never prior to tonight thrown any pitch below 80 miles per hour, and he threw 4 of those low to mid 70s breaking balls to Kadire, and 1 now to Harris to even the count.
Boy, 2 fastballs to Harris, strike 1 and now strike 2. Perfect pitches. I talk about working the outer half of the plate down and away. Those are perfect fastballs.
Pretty careful with this young man's arm. They, to this point, have not used them on back-to-back games. And Harris reaches across the plate to flip it foul. He's got both a 2-seam fastball and the 4-seamer, which rides in the upper 90s. And it's been a kind of a charmed year for Ron Washington and the Rangers, because they've dipped into their minor league system, pulled out Feliz, and he's been awesome for them. They go down to their minor league system, and they bring up Bourbon, and he looks like he's a legitimate player that might help them win a playoff spot this year. Strop was pretty impressive last night. 2-2 to Harris. Hit hard to right field. Chased by Hamilton, and he's there, 1 away. So a pretty well hit ball by Harris for the first out. Bring up Gomez. Gomez hit the ball hard his first time up, lining out to a reaching Michael Young, and then in his next at bat, after Harris's leadoff double, he just pushed the ball, shattered his bat in the process, but pushed the ball to the right side to advance the runner. Gave himself up, in other words.
Feliz and Rodriguez, a little extra time on the mound.
Running out of outs here. 1 gone in the 7th. Breaking ball in the dirt. Ball 1. Look at that pitch. Low 90s, knee high on the outside corner again. It's like whenever he wants it, he can reach back and get it there.
So far, so good. Rodriguez, they saw where his glove was, and the ball was headed that way.
1-2. Hopper to Young. And Feliz gets 2 quick outs here in the 7th. Big news tonight at twinsbaseball.com. You can log on and check out the Wendy's All Metrodome Team medallion set that can be purchased at twinsbaseball.com. The medallions feature the 18 members of the Wendy's All Metrodome Team, and there are only 5,000 sets available to the public. Check out the details right now if you'd like at twinsbaseball.com. Down in the 7th, and here's Casilla, who was struck out twice by Feldman in key spots, at least the second time, with a runner at third and 1 out. Ball 1. Popped up wide of first, and Davis over for a look. It's in the seats. 1-1. Good crowd on hand here tonight, but the Twins fans haven't had much to cheer about yet. C.J. Wilson warming up in the Texas bullpen. Two and 1. Just under 29,000, actually 28,516 the paid attendance. Hook foul. You see he got the barrel on it, but he pulled it foul.
Fastball here at 94 miles an hour.
Different pitcher, but same catcher. We'll see if Rodriguez tries to strike out Casilla with another high fastball. Three and two.
Tried the backdoor breaking ball there. Now it's just going to be power against power. See what Casilla can do right here.
Left hand hitting Span on deck, and the left hander warming up. 3 and 2. Popped up left side. Vizquel, if he wanted to, could put it in his back pocket. Two-handed catch, inning over. Good inning for Feliz, and it's still 2-0. A lot of people here from UND, North Dakota, here tonight. Buses out there. So we're happy to have you great Twins fans here tonight. Hopefully the Twins can turn this game around. You know, one thing I've noticed, it might be just my imagination, but just throughout this homestand, the Baltimore series and this series, when fans are allowed in here, it seems to me, Hamilton in the plate, or at the plate, he'll face Jesse Crain. Seems to me that there are more and more people who simply want their picture taken here at the Dome, because this is the last year. Maybe some fans have already made their last trip here and want pictures of them standing by the front row seat with the field in the background.
Yeah, I met a lot of fans this afternoon. I did a little signing this afternoon before the ball game, and a lot of them from North Dakota, like you mentioned. A lot of them here for the first time this year. Just kind of saying a farewell and goodbye to the stadium.
Jose Majares and John Roush warming up. Roush, a big man. Majares is a big man, but look how small he is compared to Roush. 2 strikes to Josh Hamilton. 1 and 2. Hamilton tonight, an RBI double and then a run scored in the first inning, and a couple of flies to Gomez in center. The Twins announced yesterday that the final game here, final regular season game, is a high fly to left, and Span, if it's not too high, will see it and catch it. 1 away. The final regular season game here on that last Sunday in early October has been sold out, and the Twins are going to raise the tent area in the upper deck in right field. It's going to be a full house, and from memory, I think the last game at Metropolitan Stadium had only 15,000 tickets sold, and of those, maybe only about 10,000 tickets were used, and something just doesn't seem right about that. We all remember Met Stadium for its greatness and the outdoor ballpark, and played a day game on a weekday, and only about 10,000 people were there on a drizzly, yucky afternoon. Swing and a miss by Bird. Bird, a ground ball to second, and a couple of strikeouts. Breaking ball in the dirt, 1-1. You ever been at a ballpark for its very last game? I don't think
some
I
of
have.
them I wanted to be at.
I mean, you and I were there for the last Twins game, for instance, at Tiger Stadium, but it wasn't the last game there.
Right.
And we've seen a lot of stadiums come and go over the years, but
I don't believe I have.
I don't think I have either. 2-1 to Marlon Bird. That's hit fairly well to left center field, but Gomez with his speed will make the catch out, number 2. So Crane has gotten 3 outfield fly balls as he continues to pitch effectively.
They gave Michael Kadire 1, Span 1, and right there they gave Gomez 1.
You can do a request like they do on music radio. You can send your request to the batting stance guy for the postgame show. The short code 234-234. Throw something tough at him, like Vic Davalillo or Dick McAuliffe. Somebody who was playing before he was born.
I was talking to him before the ball game, and he said that he goes to about 1980.
Okay.
That he really started to follow the game of baseball.
We did a feature, was it last year or the year before? Matt Guerrero could impersonate with batting stances a lot of the famous Indians from the area where he grew up, or the era that he grew up in Ohio. 1-1 to Kinsler. And now 1-2. The Texas second baseman. Hope foul. Kinsler hit leadoff last night, is hitting 5th tonight. He's reached all 3 times, stolen a couple of bases, driven in a run. Red Sox leading the Jays 3-0. Important game for Texas and its hopes of picking up some ground in the wild card race. Right on the outside corner. Jesse Crane, a completely different pitcher than he was in the first half of the year. An effective inning of the 3rd here. The Twins will send up the top of their lineup, trying to turn this game around.
Who is? Oh, Julio Franco. Okay. 234 text. The Twins will look for another comeback win tonight. I'm Marnie Gellner at the Metrodome. I've come back from the fair, and we will be bringing you, after the final out, our Quest Twins Live postgame show. We'll include the Toyota postgame wrap and look at the armed and dangerous Scott Feldman tonight, and look at his arm angle in particular. Plus, the completed field, the grass, the turf is all in at Target Field, and batting stand sky will be part of our instructional tonight. Viewers, text in who you would like to see batting stand sky imitate. 234 is the number. Julio Franco is the leading vote getter right now. So text in who you would like to see batting stand sky imitate. He'll be here at the Metrodome tonight. Dick and Bert, I know you guys watched him throughout the evening. I think he did a pretty good job. He's got Justin Morneau down. He's got Bert Blyleven down with the pitching as well.
Yeah, very nice.
Julio Franco, now you played with Julio early in his career. He wasn't always that pronounced with that stance, was he?
No. You know, he's just a big, strong man.
Right.
He played till he was, 74 years old. Unbelievable. Well, C.J. Wilson coming out of the bullpen, making his 58th relief appearance. Very good 2.95 ERA. Hard-throwing left-hander at 6'1", about 215. He's in his 5th season with the Rangers. 14 saves out of that bullpen when Frank Francisco was on the disabled list.
Very tough against left-handers. In fact, here we are at the end of August. He's not given up a home run to a lefty yet. 1-1 to Span. Chopped foul, hit it right out of Rodriguez's mitt. Wilson's given up just 12 hits and 72 at bats to lefties, and he'll face Span, then might be left in to face Mauer, Morneau, and Kubel here. Very high, and it's 2-2.
He's got a little bit of Mitch Williams type of mannerisms out on the mound. Very aggressive. Gives you that snarl type look. He doesn't fall off the mound and fall down like Williams did at times. But he'll come right at you. Good fastball.
Blew it by Span, which isn't easy to do. 1 away. Countdown to outdoor baseball continues, and the Twins conclude the homestand next week. 3 games against the White Sox. 8 seats available, and remember that Tuesday features the all-you-can-eat seats. Tickets for the final 16 games at the Metrodome are available. Calling 833 Twins. As you might imagine, the Chicago manager not real thrilled with the 10-0 whitewashing at Yankee Stadium today.
Well, he had to start Jose Contreras, someone that he said a week ago he didn't want to see him in that starting rotation again.
So he wanted to see his grandchildren.
Yeah. The White Sox were hoping that Jake Peavy could make that start today.
1-1 to Cabrera. Walked a couple of times tonight and hit a bouncer to third. 2-1. White Sox on their road trip now have lost 5 of 6. And as hot as the Twins have been, having won 8 of 10, the White Sox are just as cold. Twins trailing here, though, 2-0. And again, running out of outs. They've only got 5 left. 3-1.
Well, with the 65 strikeouts that Wilson's been able to get in 58 in the 3rd innings, he does have 26 walks.
Three and 2. Cabrera trying to draw his 3rd walk of the night. Came into the night with just 3 walks drawn as a Twin. To center. Bird coming in, making the catch. 2 down. Batting stance guy before the game today is trying to imitate the Twin shortstop. Well, the Twins saw Cabrera line out to center for the 2nd out of the 8th. Now Mauer at the plate. Mauer singled his last time up after hitting the ball on the ground to the infield a couple times. Ball one. Mauer still hitting .310 against lefties. Nearly 100 points higher against righties. There is ball two. And Mauer, the big rip and a foul. 2-1. Says something that here we are about ready to wrap up the 5th month of the season, and Wilson's yet to give up a long ball to a left-handed batter.
A good fastball, pretty good location, that hard breaking ball. Very aggressive lefty.
2-1 to Mauer. And now 3-1. Mauer hoping to get a board for that guy.
We should get a fastball here.
That's to the left field corner, chased by Murphy. Nice running catch. It nearly rolled out of the webbing of his glove. So Murphy chases one down in foul ground. A good inning for Wilson as the Twins go down 1-2-3. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Here at the Dome, 28,500 and some change here, watching the Twins so far be shut out by the Texas Rangers. Scott Feldman of the bullpen doing a nice job, and now Jose Majares comes out of the Twins pen in the ninth.
Well, you see the 1.99 ERA. Majares in his last outing here on Tuesday, he won the ball game when the Twins came back and beat the Baltimore Orioles. So maybe the same luck will happen here tonight. Majares making his 53rd relief appearance.
Right now, the Twins have the edge on the season series with Texas, 5 wins to 3. 1-1. Murphy, Rodriguez, and Davis facing Majares here in the Texas ninth. with a strikeout, outfield fly, and an infield foul. Frank Francisco warming up. Dribbled foul, 2-2. Mentioned the White Sox were shut out by the Yankees 10-0, and then Detroit lost to Tampa Bay 3-1. David Price pitched a great ball game for the Rays. The Twins, who need things like that to happen to put a little heat on the Tigers, are misfiring so far tonight. 3-2, and that one wounds Mauer. Boy, he's taken a beating here the last couple of nights.
I think they got the left arm right there. Joe Mauer, breaking ball kind of rolled up and hit that left arm, deflecting away.
The Twins have the luxury now of having a third catcher, which will allow Mauer, for instance, in a game like tomorrow, perhaps to DH. Either Mike Redmond, Jose Morales could catch. 3-2 to Murphy, leading off the ninth. Got him looking, one away. So many times it seems like Maharis opens his appearances with a 3-ball count, but nevertheless doesn't issue too many walks.
Well, shaving the outer half of the plate right there and picking up a strikeout. Good job by both bullpens so far, putting zeros on the board.
Here's Rodriguez. He has struck out twice and hit a fly ball to right. That's hit a long way to left field. Span going back, but this one's gone. A home run for Rodriguez, and he makes it a 3-0 ball game.
Well, Rodriguez hitting his first home run back as a Texas Ranger. For the Astros, he had hit 8. Now jumping on that first pitch and pulling the ball into the left field seats.
So 3-0. First run on the board for either team since the first inning, and unfortunately for the Twins, the Rangers get that run. Swinging a foul. Jim Joyce and Joe Mauer look at each other like, are you okay? I'm okay.
His 304th career home run for Rodriguez.
That's interesting. I mean, Rodriguez did not face Maharis a week and a half ago in Texas, and it just looked like he was waiting for a first pitch breaking ball and creamed it. Strike 2. And strike 3, 2 down. And that'll bring up Omar Vizquel. Joyce and Joe Mauer again having a little bit of an exchange behind home plate.
Probably just talking a little baseball.
How many bottles of Advil do you use over the course of the season? And first pitch strike to Vizquel. Vizquel tripled to right center field as a left-handed batter. Was left there, and then since then has hit a fly ball to right and struck out. I look at Vizquel over the years, Bert, and I think his career followed the same path as Ozzie Smith. Great defensive prowess, but in each case they made themselves great hitters. That was not their strong suit. They were known as defensive shortstops, and in each case they will, I think, both end up in the Hall of Fame because of their defense and their offense. Frank Francisco will be brought in to protect a 3-run lead, and the first man up, Justin Morneau.
inning. Gomez slipping right there, but Young would have scored anyway on the RBI double. In the second inning, Gomez slipping again on a triple by Omar Vizquel, and go back to the first inning with 2 outs. Ian Kinsler with that RBI single up the middle that scored Hamilton.
That's the Jeep game reset. Now here's Morneau to start what the Twins hope will be a rally against Frank Francisco. Ball 1. Scott Feldman. There's a reason he's been the Ranger ace this year, and he's 3 outs away from his 14th win.
Well, he battled here today. 89 pitches, only 46 for strikes, but was picked up by the bullpen. Felice did a good job getting him out of the 6th inning. Now it's up to Frank Francisco, making his 39th relief appearance. He's been on a disabled list a couple times this year for the Rangers.
2-0 to Morneau. Oh, if the game is saved for Feldman, there'll be only one pitcher in the American League with more wins than Feldman, and that'd be CC Sabathia. His 14 wins would tie him with Justin Verlander and Josh Beckett. 2-1. 3-1. Twins were, they thought, close to getting a leadoff walk the last inning. And nothing ever came of it. So Morneau, Kubel, Kanayer, and the Twins hope a few more here in the 9th. Swing and a foul, and that stings Rodriguez. Either that or he's just frustrated that he couldn't hang on to it. Full count to the leadoff man here in the 9th. Foul tip, and Rodriguez hangs on to this one. 1 down. He looks like he's hurt.
Well, Francisco just challenging. Rodriguez showing, hey, I caught this ball, but boy, that hurt right there.
Foul tip, and Rodriguez hangs on for the first out of the 9th. Here's Kubel. Twins with just 4 hits. They had a chance to score in the 5th and a chance to score in the 6th, and that's pretty much been it. Strike 1. They do have a double. They've taken a few walks. 1-1, but I think they found out here in this series why the Rangers are in the hunt. They're a different Ranger team than the ones we've seen in recent years. One and 1. 2-1. Three and 1. So the count is about where it was when Morneau led off the inning.
Well, the pitching. It's all about pitching, and you can see where the Rangers are in the American League. Combined 4.18 ERA.
Swing and a miss, 3-2. Since they moved into the ballpark at Arlington, the lowest team ERA for the Rangers is 4.54. 3-2 to Kubel. Struck him out. 2 down.
Well, Francisco getting Morneau and now Jason Kubel. Just rearing back and saying, here it is, hit it if you can. Morneau and Kubel unable to.
So 2 down, and now Kadire. Last hope for the Twins. Cisco's fallen behind. Morneau and Kubel 3-1 and come back to strike each of them out. And strike 1. One and 1. 14 pitches, 7 balls, 7 strikes for the Texas closer.
Wow, good fastball.
These are good hitters, and it's just swing and miss after swing and miss. Morneau did well to foul tip a couple of them.
Yeah, Francisco in his 5th season with the Rangers had only 5 career saves coming into this year. Put into the role. He's done a good job.
On the right field line, it's a foul ball and out of play.
Had some tendonitis problems this season with that right elbow. Well, when he's healthy, you see a good fastball.
One and 2 to Kadire. Hoping to keep the game alive for Harris. And another foul. Rangers clearly have been getting better starting pitching, but maybe it starts with the bullpen. In years past, when they would get a good start, they had a porous bullpen, but tonight, for instance, the Twins haven't gotten a base runner against the Texas bullpen. Hooked foul, hit hard but foul. It won a 3-2 ball game last night. My goodness. He strikes out the side. He gets Morneau, Kubel, and Kadire all swinging. And the Rangers even this series at a game apiece.
All right, guys, thanks very much. It's a rough night for the Minnesota Twins as they fail to take advantage of the losses tonight by the Detroit Tigers and the Chicago White Sox. But we've got 30 minutes of baseball talk.